Well, hello everyone. This is DB Designs and Sewing Australia. I'm Deb and welcome to all my subscribers and to any new subscribers. And I'd really love it if you did subscribe because I'm nearly at 1,000 subscribers. So that would be fabulous. Please click that subscribe button. Doesn't cost any money. And today I've got an update on the wedding dress. Now this is a wedding dress that I'm making probably a size and a half smaller than what it is now, and also making a long train into a short train. So at the end I will have all the video of how I did that and what I did. I haven't done the train yet. I have put in a new zip and taken in the back considerably. So I'll walk you through that. Now I didn't film over the weekend. I had 3 of my grandchildren staying here. So between people riding scooters through the house and dolls in prams and screaming and all that sort of thing you get with small children, I had no time to myself. So I had a wonderful time and a wonderful weekend, and I wouldn't give it up for anything. So prior to my grandchildren coming to stay, I made the Donny shirt. Now, I will pop in some photos. This is the Donny shirt I made out of some fabric where my girlfriend had given me, she called it a wraparound skirt, but it must be a wraparound skirt for a Barbie doll because seriously it only just met in the front. And so there was not terribly much fabric, and I wanted to use the border print, and although I did try and match up the lines, not always terribly successfully because it's going to have been block printed. So it's going to have been hand printed with a wooden block placing it along. So it's not always exact as if it was printed on a machine, but still quite happy with the result. When I first saw it, I thought it was hilarious. It looked like one of those shirts men buy when they're overseas on holidays in a sunny place, like as if they were in Fiji or Bali. In fact, my girlfriend probably got that wraparound skirt, or it's not really a sarong because a sarong wraps around much further than that. She probably got it when she was in Sri Lanka or somewhere like that. So it was quite nice fabric. I couldn't match any of the things. I just did not have enough fabric. I was left off with a tiny strip up the side, and that was it. I did decide to put the border print down one edge of the pocket. So pretty happy with that. The Donny shirt, not my favorite sort of a shirt. It doesn't have a bust dart, and I really do like darts. And it's really quite boxy. It's probably slightly longer than the pattern. And as you can see, I think it's a high-low sort of a shirt, but this is the same length all the way around. So, and I did that because of limitations of fabric and because I wanted to have that border print on the bottom of it. And I did manage to get the border print on both sleeves as well, which was nice, but did it really as an experiment to see how that would work out. Quite happy with it, and I will pop in photos of me in it, and I'm just wearing it with a pair of navy pointy pants because I've been to work. And today I have popped on after work, because I had to wear my uniform of course, my Charlie jumper, and it's a Atelier Jupe Charlie jumper, and this is warm. This is supposed to be a stretch fabric, but it's really not very stretchy at all. And it's very, very thick. So extremely warm, extremely acrylic and extremely warm. So I've actually got a Spencer on under it as well. So that's how cold it is in Melbourne. So the Donny shirt, pleased with how it turned out. It's a very quick sew, but don't think I'd rush into making it again. There are other shirt patterns that I prefer to this shirt. I mean, and it's, I guess you could call it a top, a facing on the inside, which really actually makes a really nice, neat finish because that facing is stitched down. So not really into facings that I do not get stitched down, because I just find it annoying when you put it on that it sticks out. And even things like the patina blouse that you'll have seen me made before, the last one I made, I did put a strip of bias in the back rather than having the facing just at the back. And when I made this Bridgette dress by Cousette, yes, it is the Bridgette dress by Cousette. When I made that, that has also got a piece of bias. You get the pattern piece for a piece of bias to go in the back neck rather than having any sort of a facing in there. It's really not necessary when you've got a collar. You can see this has got a collar all the way around. Now I have put the buttons on it, but I still am yet to do the hem. And I think about 3 people in my comments from my last video asked me if I could show them how I actually do the hem for skirt pieces that are cut where you've got the bias drop. And I can already see that in some parts of it, it's nearly touching the floor, and in other parts it's not. So where the seams are, it's not going to touch the floor because it's already supported. It's got the seam, but in the pieces in between the seam, dips right down like that. So I will do the hem, but I'll take you through how I do the hem in another video, because it's really important to have it looking really nice. Now I probably would wear, this is actually a very dark navy. I would actually wear it with probably with black boots. So you probably wouldn't notice if the hem wasn't ultra even, but I really do like to put some time and effort into the hem. Now I will machine stitch the hem, but the way I do it is, because I don't have anyone here to pin it up on me, I will have to take it on and off probably 20 times to get it exactly right, exactly how I want it to be. And then I will hand tack the very edge of the hem. So I think the key to it is, and you could already see how much that's dipped down like that. So this part here is much longer. And the only way you can tell if it's right is by putting it on. So your hem will end up in some places looking like that, where you've got a great big piece going down to a much narrower piece. Now what I do is, when I get it right, then I will press this edge, so the very bottom edge, and I will hand tack it so that it's really, really even all the way around at the very bottom edge. Then I'll start to trim it off, turn some inside, press that up, and machine sew it. Now this dress is really quite long, but I want it so that it's not longer than my over-dyed denim coat, because I was going to wear it to Mia's birthday, which is partially outside, and so in Melbourne it's going to be freezing. So I want to make it short enough, so when I get the hem to where I think it should be, then I will try on my over-dyed denim coat over it. I don't like the look where your coat is, you know, this much shorter than your dress or your skirt. It either has to be the same length, longer, or you need to wear a short coat. In fact, this dress would probably look really nice with a denim coat over it, you know, denim jacket over it. And I have got a navy blue linen denim style jacket, but it's pretty thin, so that would be a bit cool. I could wear my short car coat because I think the proportions would be okay. That would be probably half but I don't like the 7/8 or 6/8 look where your coat is just a little bit shorter than your dress. So the teddy bear coat that I wear quite a bit, and even my purple ponte coat, will be this much shorter. So proportionately, it won't be 1/3, it won't be 1/2. So I will be trying on my overdyed denim coat over this. Okay, so I made the Donny blouse. I've continued on with my Bridgette dress, and today I received my patterns that I had printed out. Now the first one is the unwind, what do they call it? Sweater, jumper, whatever you call it. And this is by Pattern Emporium. So this is just really what I would call a windsheeter pattern. So I was looking for a normal windsheeter pattern. It's got lots of variations, lots of different sleeve lengths, and lots of different necks. You can get a relaxed neck, a crew neck, a turtle neck, and a hoodie neck. So, and you can have it cropped, hip length, or long. So I thought that would be a really, really handy pattern. And I love having them printed out in the AO so that I can, I don't know that I would cut that up, because I would probably trace off the size, I think, because it's probably the type of thing that I would also make for other people. So it's probably really worth it not to chop the pattern up, so that I can print out, so that I can trace off other sizes as well. I also got the Chasing Butterflies pattern printed up for me. That's also a Pattern Emporium pattern. It also comes with 3 different necklines. You've got a crew neck, a relaxed neck, which is just like a lower crew neck, and a turtleneck. So you can see those 3 different necklines there. A very bat wing top, which I've decided is what is must be fashionable, because when I look at even at this dress, it's quite bat wing, because that is all cut out in one piece. This whole sleeve is attached to the bodice, so that whole dress is cut out in one piece. It does have a centre back seam. So it has a centre back seam, and it has a tie there that pulls it in. And you would not be able to get the dress out of it if you didn't have a centre back seam, I don't think, because placement of it is hard enough as it is. And I tried to make it so I didn't have 2 giant flower boobs on it, which was hard in a pattern where you cannot manipulate the pattern pieces very much, because the pattern pieces are so large. But we got there eventually. Another pattern I had printed out was, I always call it the Jolette, but I think it's probably Joliette skirt. Now this is like a denim skirt, and this is in the same vein as the little purple skirts that I made my granddaughters. It's the same pattern company. It's by Little Lizard King. They've actually got some, Little Lizard King have got some very, very nice patterns. And so when my daughter, my second daughter, saw Phoebe's purple skirt, she went, "Oh, I wouldn't mind a skirt like that. Can you make Phoebe a denim skirt like that?" I said, "Well, I've actually got quite a bit of the green denim left over from when I made my own Tommy skirt." I said, "So I've actually got a fair bit of that green left, so I'll make the girls some in that." But she wanted a corduroy skirt. In fact, she wanted a purple corduroy skirt like what Phoebe's got. And so I thought, I'll get that pattern printed out. A few different lengths in it. And it does go, your Little Lizard King does go into quite a lot of detail about how to make things like denim skirt fit you properly. So the little girls' ones have got elastic at the back. I'm sure this one does not have elastic at the back. It's a slim fit A-line skirt for woven fabrics with a button front closure and optional pockets. It can be made in mini or knee length. So it doesn't have that, but you really need to make sure it fits you properly so that the buttons are not pulling at the front. When I made my green denim skirt, it's got a fly front. It's got a zip fly front. So it doesn't pull open across the front like it may if you've got, you know, stud buttons or a button front, even just normal buttons on the front. So that's something to look out for. You just can't make it too tight, because if you've got a stomach that sticks out like me, then it's going to be really, really obvious. So you need to make it a little bit looser. The little girls ones have got elastic in the waist and they're only tiny little things anyway. So the little kids ones are fine. It's the adults ones that you need to make sure you've got that really good hip tummy fit really, really well, and that it's not tight and pulling across the front, because it's going to look like it's bursting open where the buttons are. So the last thing I had printed out was the Bud Shacket by Seamwork. Now, I had this for a while. I'd actually had this pattern before I made my husband the Ilford jacket, which he still hasn't tried on, but that's a whole nother thing. And this is so many pattern pieces. I really did not want to tape it all together like a horrendous job. And so I was actually going to make this for myself in corduroy. So I'm not sure if I'll get that done before we go to Tasmania, but still plenty of cold weather here in Melbourne right up until November, which can be a very, very windy time in Melbourne. So that's what else I've been doing this week. I will have to get on and start doing some more sewing. And I'm now going to take you through where I'm up to with the wedding dress. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is remove the zip. Always being careful not to destroy anything that is already there. This is actually not a bad quality zip. So I've removed the zip, part of the bodysuit, and now it's ready for me to work out whereabouts I'm going to pull this lace back till, because this lace is just sewn onto these double layers of tulle, and I'm going to pull it out and redo the zipper on it. Now I've completely removed the zip, and I'm going to re-put the zip in. It's a bit hard to show you doing that. I basically sew it in by hand, and then I'll see if I'll machine it in. And in this dress, the zip is caught with the lace part up to the, what you call the end of the bodice seam, and then the next part, it's only joined to the underlining, and there's little clear press studs that will clip this lace section together over the top of the zip. I'll show you that when it's done. Well, I ended up putting a whole new invisible zip in. I was able to machine stitch it in, and I will wait until the bride has her next fitting to put a hook and eye at the top, and to put the little clear press studs here and here, and that holds the skirt closed. Now, the bride won't even know that that originally had it on it. But as you can see, the invisible zip is a really good fit and all looks perfect. In the end, I didn't have to pull any of that lace back because the lace was actually much thinner than I thought it was. But what I haven't done yet is I have not trimmed off any of this excess and the excess inside the bodysuit because I had to refit the bodysuit, of course. And so the bodysuit's got a lot of excess, this section here, but I won't be cutting anything off it until she tries it on and we make sure it's right. I'm pretty confident that it is right. She's a very, very slim girl. And as you can see, I've also made new bust cups. So this is the original bust cup here. And this is two other bust cups. One's like a medium to small and the other one's a very small. And then inside here, you can see it's got that bulge coming out there. That's actually made with something called bra foam. I'll show you what it is. So this is bra foam. So it's basically a piece of foam that's sandwiched between two stretchy lingerie pieces of fabric. So you can see there, that's where the foam ends. And this is what it's like on the inside. And so what I did was I actually fashioned a piece to go inside that bra cup so that it would add more bulk to what would be under the bust. Now I think you can see that there with that light, how it's here. So I sandwiched that in between those two and then I zigzagged around the ends. Now, bra foam can be used for many, many things. This is a piece here that I used yesterday to repair one of my daughter's bras where her wire was coming out. So I restitched the wire in and then I put a piece of bra foam over it and machine stitched that around the wire so that it wouldn't stick into her and that it would be comfortable. And I've also decided that if you wanted to do quite thin quilting, bra foam would be an ideal thing to use because it's basically just foam sandwiched in between these two pieces of what I would always call like lingerie fabric. I've also used bra foam before in the past to make my own shoulder pads because, and it's actually ideal for people who have got shoulders that are very different to each other and they want them to look much more even, because you can make your own shoulder pads and you can add as much thickness as you want to certain parts. You might want that outside area to be thicker. It's really quite a handy piece of fabric. And now it's not cheap. It's like $48 a metre, but I only got half a metre. It's really, really wide. Can sometimes be difficult to get. I actually got it at Darn Cheap Fabrics in Glen Huntly, but this is going to make, so she wanted the bra cup to look like it looks now, like she's got a bust, but she wanted it to look like she filled it out, not like if you saw inside it would look hollow. So I think that will be enough in there for her, but only trying it on is ever going to be able to tell. So the next thing to do is to try it on her. Now you might be wondering what this bag is that I've got attached to the dress. That's how I take the dress from the cutting table or sewing table over to the sewing machine. You cannot drag a wedding dress around. It's got a train, you'll end up standing on it. So I always bag it. Sometimes I bag them with a calico bag, but I find the calico bag actually makes it quite heavy and wants to keep on falling off. So I will show you what I do to put it back up on the wall. Now I've cleared the floor behind here. So once I hang the wedding dress back up, which is what I've done now, it's I've released the bag so that the train can fall completely down onto the floor. And all that floor has been cleared behind the wedding dress there. So the next thing to do is for the bride to come and try it on. And after that, I will do the hook and eye on the at the top of the back zip, put on those 2 clear press studs, and have a look at sewing those. They're not really shoulder straps, they sort of wrap around the side top of your arm. I'll put those where she wants them to be, and I'll know that I can trim off all the excess fabric that I have taken in. So, and then we'll be on to shortening the train. So that's the progress with the wedding dress. Okay, so now you've seen the wedding dress and it's absolutely beautiful. Very, very happy with how that wedding dress is going. So once the bride comes and tries it on, then I'll put the hook and eye at the top. It has 2 sets of clear press studs that just hold the overlay, because the zip's only sewn into the top part of the fabric down to where the bodice finishes, and then it's sewn into the underlining. So the bottom skirt part of the dress, which is sewn into the waist, so it's sewn to the bodice, it just has a clip closure with 2 clear press studs. Now the bride doesn't even know that. I'll have to talk to her and her mother-in-law about when she gets dressed and how to put it on. And I'll also need to fit the straps. Now the straps actually go around the top of your arm there, like that. You can wear them up there, but she's going to wear them down there. And at the moment, they've got press studs on them. They've got clear press studs, but she keeps on thinking they're going to come undone. So I'll be stitching those in place and making sure she can get them on and off. And then I'm going to stand her up on my sewing table and we're going to decide how long she wants that train. And I really think she only wants it, when you think of the hem at the front is like this, and she doesn't really need any taken off the front because it's practically the right length for her. I think she said she's 5'5", and a very, very slim girl. But the train is very long, so we'll probably just be bringing the train down like that so that she doesn't need to hold it up. It's only dragging a little bit on the ground behind her. She said she doesn't care if it gets dirty. It'll be on grassed area anyway. And she doesn't want to have to hold it or hook it up when she dances and when she walks around. So that's it for me for today. Please like and subscribe. Please subscribe because I'm nearly there. I'm nearly at 1,000 subscribers. I think I've got 20 more to go. So that would be really helpful if you could do that. And ask me any questions you like. I will try and do a video on how I even the hem. I don't like to say straighten the hem. Even the hem of something that drops on the bias, because if I don't do that and if I'd already hemmed it, then when I wore it, I'd be able to see in a mirror that it was dipping down in places. So it has been on my mannequin for quite some time, and after about 3 days I could really tell that it's dropped, but I can't hem it on the mannequin because her hips are not the same as mine. It's actually tighter on the mannequin than it is on me, but that doesn't mean your hips fall in exactly identically the place that on the mannequin as it would on me. So I really have to keep on taking it on, taking it off, to make sure it's got the fit that I want, and to wear the bra that I would wear under it, and all of that sort of thing. Makes a big difference of how it hangs. You know, I've got several different bras and they give your bust a very different shape. So I would be wearing a bra that I would wear with the dress. So that will be interesting to see. And some people ask, would they see how I do that? Because it's not always an easy task. The only thing I've got even at the moment is the button placket at the front where it finishes. Because of course it's already been finished like that. But as you can see, the inside is not finished at all yet. It's got to be tucked up there. And I'm not sure if I will possibly sew some bias binding on there to give it a little bit more structure in the hem. I'll have to see how I think it looks when I get it ready, and if I think it needs to be made a little bit more structured, and that's what bias tape would do. So until next week, not sure if I'm going to film over the weekend. I've got my dad coming to stay with me for 4 days, and he's 95, so he needs a little bit of looking after, a little bit of entertaining. So I'll see you all next time. Bye.